Alright, I can already anticipate some of your concerns, because today we're talking about the best cable TV services out there, and for some of you that'll be like ranking the tallest buildings in Wichita, with my apologies to the guy behind the camera who's from Kansas. Yeah, we know that cable TV isn't exactly the most beloved industry in the world, and that can probably be chalked up to two things: customer service and billing practices. So, right up front, we'll acknowledge that the industry has some work to do in those areas. But today, we're grading on the curve. So, we'll highlight a few of the companies that we rate highly, and we'll dig into why we do so, and who each company may be a good fit for. We'll talk about Xfinity, Cox, Spectrum, and Optimum, so you can skip ahead if you want to hear about one of them specifically. Two other things to note before we get started though. First, we're only going to give a brief overview of each company. If you want a more detailed review, we have a separate review for each one, and you can check those out on our channel or on our site. And second, before you ask, no, we're not including satellite or fiber TV providers. Today is pure cable. So, now, with all that throat clearing out of the way, let's dive in. Xfinity's pricing is on the lower end, at least when it comes to their sticker price. Their digital starter TV plan comes in at $50 a month for 140 channels, which is about $15 less than the basic package at Cox, which also delivers fewer channels. Xfinity also offers no contract service with any of its plans. You just tack on an additional $10 a month and you can go contractless. And lastly, while Xfinity's X1 DVR isn't at the very top of our list, it still gets very positive notes. And the X1 interface makes for a really slick experience. But while Xfinity has a low sticker price, you'll have to watch out for the dreaded additional fees. There's a broadcast TV fee, a regional sports fee, and more, plus tax, so that attractive pricing jumps up by quite a bit. This goes into the negative bin because I think we would all prefer it if those fees were just wrapped up into your price so you knew for sure what you were going to pay. But it's also hard to judge Xfinity too harshly for this, since this is standard operating procedure across the industry. In a similar vein, we give Xfinity negative marks for its customer service scores. Again, poor customer service scores is a reality across the industry, but Xfinity has distinguished itself here as below even that average, so they'll get called out. Cox is trying to do something a little different. They've narrowed their service down to basically one thing: Contour TV. Within the Contour umbrella, your plan is customizable using add-ons called packs, P-A-K-S. No, I don't know why they left the C out. I mean, if you're gonna misspell the word, then Cox might as well go with an X, but whatever. I'm just getting sidetracked. The point is, whether it ends up working in the long term or not, we appreciate the experimentation, and at least in theory, we always appreciate more customization. So this goes in the good column for Cox. On the other hand, all that customization comes at a price, literally. Cox is pricier than other cable TV providers. Their Record 6 DVR, which is roughly equivalent in capability to Xfinity's X1, costs twice as much, $20 a month. So by the time we got to check out on their site and we included the $8.50 receiver fee, our monthly charge was over $90. And that was before all the additional fees and before we'd added any of those add-on packs. So if you take advantage of any of Cox's positive features, be prepared to pay quite a bit for it. Spectrum is the result of the merger of Charter Spectrum and Time Warner Cable. Bigger, of course, does not necessarily mean better, but it's also not an automatic bad thing either. Most of what Spectrum offers is pretty much par for the course, but there's one positive that deserves to be pointed out, and that is no contracts. Whereas Xfinity has the option of no contracts for an additional price, Spectrum just doesn't do contracts. Wherever possible, we'd like to see this trend continue, so props to Spectrum for being ahead of the curve in this area. Spectrum suffers, though, from the same additional fees problem that we've already pointed out for some other providers. It's not as bad as with some others, but there's still something to watch out for there. A bigger bummer for us was that you aren't able to choose your DVR. Spectrum will either send you a DVR from Motorola or Cisco, and you'll have no idea which one it is until it's delivered. On top of that, neither of them records more than 45 hours worth of content, which is, well, not enough in my book. For Optimum, let's keep this one quick. Like Spectrum, Optimum has no contracts, which is exactly what we like to see. Plus, they have quite a few channels available in their packages. Even the introductory package has over 220 available channels. And since the pricing is right in line with what you see elsewhere, it turns out to be good bang for your buck. Unfortunately, one of the worst things about Optimum is that it's not very widely available. Its coverage is all clustered around New York City, New Jersey, and some of Connecticut. So we'd love to recommend a TV service that gives you pretty good value with no contracts, but unless you're in that tri-state area, then you're out of luck, which is too bad. Now, there are plenty more cable providers out there, but we think these 4 represent the best in certain categories. Xfinity is solid and really widely available, even though it has some issues with fees and customer service. Cox is trying some new stuff with how it structures its packages, which we applaud. Spectrum is ahead of the curve with its no-contract approach, and Optimum is attractive enough that we wish it were more widely available. Let us know what your best or worst experience has been with a cable provider in the comments below. And if you have any questions or if you're curious about another provider, hit up the TV section of reviews.org and get your questions answered. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, and we will see you on the next review.